study of a Bible in a year. It's just an overview. It is not reading word for word the Bible in a year like I thought it was going to be, but we're rolling with it. All right, we are on week 4, the very last day of week 4, and our subject for the week has been prayer. Today is day 28, but day 7 for the week, and it's Luke 18, 1 through 8. All right, and then we have the 4 reflections for the week. So what can you turn into prayer points throughout the week? Share in the comments if you use some creative places to do prayer this week. You were supposed to pray for 3 people and commit to praying for them daily. I pray for a lot more than 3 people in a day. But I did that consistently because I do Marco Polo prayer in the mornings. So that's been taken care of. And then designate a spot for prayer, make it a distraction-free zone. My prayer time is all day long, but my favorite prayer place is my car. And I try really hard not to get distracted while I'm driving. But that is where primarily I do my best prayer work. All right, so we're going to read Luke 18, 1 through 8. And you don't know how excited I am that I get to read more than one verse today. I mean, yesterday I took full advantage of it and read the whole stinking chapter of Daniel, but who's gonna get me in trouble for that? Okay? The more you read the word, the more you want to read the word, the more it just comes alive to you. All right, 1 through 8 in the NIV version says, Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, In a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. Now, a parable is a story, so this didn't actually happen. This is a story that it's like a fable that Jesus is telling the people. And there was a widow. In a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, Grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, Even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come and attack me. And the Lord said, Listen to what the unjust judge says, and will not... What? And the Lord said, Listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones, who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? You know, are people going to believe? People are called, we are called to faith, to believe in the unseen. You know, by faith we will have this, or by faith God will do that. It's hard to trust the unseen because you just don't know. So we're going to read it in the Message Bible, and we're going to go through verse 8. Verse 8. All right, the story of the persistent widow. Jesus told them a story showing that it was necessary for them to pray consistently and never quit. He said there was once a judge in some city who never gave God a thought and cared nothing for people. A widow in that city kept after him. My rights are being violated. Protect me. He never gave her the time of day, but after this went on and on, he said to himself, I care nothing what God thinks, even less what people think. But because this widow won't quit badgering me, I'd better do something and see that she gets justice. Otherwise, I'm going to end up beaten black and blue by her pounding. Then the master said, Do you hear what that judge, corrupt as he is saying? So what makes you think God won't step in and work justice for his chosen people, who continue to cry out for help? Won't he stick up for them? I assure you he will. He will not drag his feet. But how much of that kind of persistent faith will the Son of Man find on the earth when he returns? I don't know if you can hear Lady out there or not, but she is persistently meowing and scratching at the door as if to amplify my story. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to read this in the Passion Translation. This is what we read in the morning. Also on top of reading the NIV and the Message. And I just want to see how this is worded in Luke 8, or in the Passion Translation. It says, one day Jesus taught the apostles. Oh, lady got away, a little bit persistent. Hi, lady. One day Jesus taught the apostles to keep praying and never stop or lose hope. Don't lose hope. So the running theory here, the story, the synopsis, the thing to get, the theme is never stop praying and don't lose hope. We talked about that today in prophetic class. I'll share that in a minute. He shared with them this illustration. In a certain town there was a judge, a thick-skinned and godless man who had no fear of others' opinions. In the same town there was a poor widow who kept pleading with the judge, "Grant me justice and protect me from my oppressor." He ignored her pleas for quite some time, but she kept asking. Eventually he said to himself, "This widow keeps annoying me, demanding her rights, and I'm tired of listening to her. Even though I'm not a religious man and I don't care about the opinions of others, I'll get her off my back by answering her claims for justice, and I'll rule in her favor. Then she'll leave me alone." Jesus continued, "Did you hear what the godless judge said? That he would answer her persistent request? Don't you know that God, the true judge, will grant justice to all his chosen ones who cry out to him night and day? He will pour out his Spirit upon them. He will not delay to answer you and give you what you ask for. God will give swift justice to those who don't give up. So be ever praying, ever expecting, in the same way as the widow. Even so, when the Son of Man comes back, will he find this kind of undying faith on the earth?" So this whole week has been about prayer. Every scripture that we have read, we saw in Daniel that Daniel went to the lion's den because he prayed 3 times a day to God. There was mention about praying without ceasing. But we talked about this evening in our prophetic home group class. That's not a home group class, but a prophetic mentoring class. Don't give up. So I think someone needed to hear that story in all 3 versions to get the fact that God hears your prayers. Don't give up. Unless God tells you to quit praying, don't quit praying. Because there are instances when the Lord will step in when you're praying for somebody on their behalf. He will step in and say, "No, I've got this. I don't need you to pray any longer." And he'll make it very clear. Or if, there's somebody that just needs to go through a season of, I don't want to say punishment, because that's not the word I'm looking for, through a season of training, or a season of, they planted a seed and they have to go through that. Because once you plant the seed and it's been watered and it grows, it has to go through the process. And sometimes that's what happens in our Christian walk. When we first become Christians, we have all these seeds that we sowed in our past that were not of the Lord. Sometimes those things have to still happen, and we can just learn and grow from that situation. Okay, so I'll be back on here tomorrow with the Bible in a year, and we're all done with week 4. Goodbye, week 4. And we'll be on week 5, and the subject is salvation. And our first scripture for day 1 is Acts 4:12. And then we have some reflections to do. So I hope you can join me tomorrow. And also in the morning at 7:10ish for the morning manna. I hope to see you.